Students ask me all the time, like, when am I going to use algebra? When am I going to use geometry? And it's really hard as a math teacher to not really be able to give them a solid answer unless you're an engineer, unless you're, doing finances or other things at high levels, not everyday finances. So I took my love for education and my love for money, and now I'm consulting families. That's what brings me to educating financially. I see a huge need, and I see the power and the impact it can make, and it excites me actually to bring both my passions and supporting people and really having compassion and meeting people where they are and teaching them valid skills, valid information that's going to really help them. I think some myths and misconceptions are that you need money, you need lots of money, or it's hard to save, or it's complicated, and it's so like there's certain knowledge that I don't know where to get, and I don't have it. I think it's more that belief that I don't know. Just kind of, being a math teacher by trade, there's so much math anxiety, but I think that translates to money anxiety, right? I come across so many people that have this myth about like, I don't know taxes, I don't know interest rates, I don't know these things. So they have it as something very complicated that's not accessible to them. If we can get rid of the anxiety and get rid of the fear and the frustration, then there's opening to like learn and communicate about it. I think the humility and vulnerability is key to dispel that myth, to be able to say, hey, I really don't know and I need help, and let me find where I can find that. Whether it's the internet, whether it's the company like ours. That's why I'm so passionate about what we do, because there's not enough people doing it. And so I would definitely say to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I really want to change this and I need some help. I think the number one is to know what's coming in and what's going out. The budgeting, I think that's what people are like, I don't want to look at it. But that's the number one step. If you don't know what you're spending money on and where your money's coming in from, I think that's like the key thing, the basis for everything. And then once you see what you got, then you can move things around, then you can make plans and strategize. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to keep a spreadsheet, even if it's on a piece of paper every month. People forget bills. Oh, I forgot to pay that bill. Or the solution to so many different small things that causes so much stress and anxiety, if we would just take the half an hour a month to write things down or make a plan, definitely. We educate people about the challenges that we're facing. I think we kind of put it out there. We all know that we have financial challenges, but we don't talk about them necessarily. About things like the student loan debt, the credit card debt, the lack of financial retirement planning, the not having our family protective if something happens to our largest breadwinner in our household, things to that nature. That's what our company sits down with people, teaches them how money works, the tips and the information that the wealthy have that haven't necessarily been shared with us as the middle class or lower class. Vehicles where we work really hard for our money, and we sometimes, another myth is we don't want to be in the stock market, we're going to lose our money. But there's so much things out there that maybe we don't know about, the middle class hasn't been taught, that the wealthy use every day. So that sharing that information where you can save your money without losing it. You can also, taxes is a big thing that we don't really talk about, that the wealthy talk about all the time. So those type of things are what we offer families, to sit down with them and share knowledge and help them if they want to save, want to clear off debt or do things to that nature, create a plan and strategize with them individually. Everybody's in a different place. So I say start young. Again, another myth is like money is evil and kids shouldn't have to worry about money. I do believe kids shouldn't have to worry about money, but it's our currency. It's our, if anything, it's like energy trading, and so from a very young age with my son, he always liked great big things, but I was always like, okay, so you don't want your drum set anymore, and now you want the new Xbox. So how are we going to convert your drum set into an Xbox, or things like that. And another thing that I would suggest that I've practiced myself is giving children independence with their choices around money. So whether it's like a weekly allowance or things like that, and then I believe in letting them make their own decisions, so then they can have their failures, as children instead of young adults. If I give my son $20 and then he spends it in 5 minutes, allow them to have that experience versus no, you can't buy that because then you won't have money later. All those little things that we tell them about money, I think youth is the time to let them have those experiences for themselves. I think a lot of the times parents want to control the experience around money for their children, where a lot of it's very innate. I think it's very innate, the learning about the transference of energy and money. And then guiding them after the fact, sometimes reflecting, like when they want something and they don't have any money left, then that's the time to come in and say, oh wow, well, what choices did you make? I think so that would be my suggestions to parents to, when you give your children money, it's no longer your money. Let them have the money and play with it and interact with it, so that then they can have their lessons.